It is a sure sign of spring. Men and women from around the globe shooting arrows in Shanghai. With winter finally loosening its grip, the world's best archers clutching bows and high hopes have come back outdoors to compete on the World Cup circuit in a city that's a treat for the eyes and the senses. There's a bounty of gold up for grabs in the financial capital of the Far East as World Archery's outdoor season is about to take flight. Wherever you might be watching, ni hao, hola, bonjour, merhaba, konnichiwa, annyeonghaseyo, privyet, shalom, guten tag, dzień dobry, buongiorno, good day, mates, and welcome to the first of just 3 stops on the Hyundai Outdoor World Cup Tour this year, stretching from spring through summer and into the fall, with the World Cup finals held in Odense, Denmark, come this September. Along with Canada's Crispin Duenas, I'm Carl Arky. We thank you for joining us on Archery TV for Stage 1 of the 2016 Hyundai World Cup Tour. This year in Shanghai, a new venue, we've moved from the Huangpu River into the very heart of the Pudong Financial District. Now the archers have to shoot across that pond here at the Ujazui Central Green, and that should change things, I think, a little bit, if only mentally, right, Crispin?
It's a little bit of a distraction, but I don't think any of these archers will be looking at the water while they're shooting. At least I hope they're not. But there's a fountain off to one side, and so, I mean, like last year we had ships and boats off to the right side of the field, but now we've got just a different venue, but by far one of the iconic venues of its time in Shanghai. We still have the great skyline in the backdrop, and we've got people in the public just walking by and they're able to see what's going on. So this is really, truly a great thing for our sport.
Temperatures are soaring. I guess that's good for the fans. For the archers, we've come from the indoor season to the outdoor season. They have to adjust to the elements. Mixed teams, 2 athletes, a female and a male athlete per country. We'll use the set system for the Recurve mixed team competition to determine the outcome. 2 points for winning a set, 1 point for splitting a set, and the first of 5 will be your winner. And we'll start off in the mixed team with the bronze medal match. Korea taking on India. A year ago in Shanghai, it was Mexico taking a tiebreaker from China. Aida Roman and Juan Rene Serrano coming away with the bronze medal on that day. Here today, India's Deepika Kumari and Atanu Das hoping to get the bronze medal after beating GBR 6-0, topping Turkey 5-3, and then losing to Chinese Taipei, also by the score of 5-3, to end up in this bronze medal match against a team of, well, relative unknowns, Crispin.
That's right. I was on the field of play, and luckily I know one of the Korean coaches who's been with their senior team, and talked to him, and I said, well, your team looks a little bit new. Is this your B team? And he said, no, this isn't our B team. This is our under 20 team. So they're not even the junior team. They're the under 20 archers. And so a lot of the archers here are relatively new, if not absolutely new. But, I mean, again, it's the same distance, the same bows and arrows, and the same target that they're shooting at. And even though their names don't ring a bell in your mind, they probably will in the next coming years.
Well, write these names down. Jo Arum, the young lady who will shoot for Korea today, teamed up with Park Sung-chul, who already picked up a men's team gold medal this morning. So they will have to be reckoned with here in this bronze medal match. Should not be taken lightly, and I'm sure they won't be, by Deepika and Atanu Das.
Yeah, Deepika had the women's highest score on the field of play in the qualification round, tying the world record. So that's great shooting from her. Unfortunately, she was taken out a little bit earlier than she would have hoped in the eliminations, and I think she's just out for blood now. This is the last medal that she can possibly get coming out of today, so this is everything for her right now.
She did get the silver medal this morning in team competition.
Yeah, so that's a little bit of a consolation, but now this is the bronze. So, I mean, the person who loses this match comes out without a medal, so it's a must-win for both of these teams if they want a medal.
Thought Atanu Das shot very, very well this morning for India in the men's team competition.
Yeah, there it is again. I mean, a lot of the people, when I was watching from the stands this morning, everybody started out high right. And I think that was just part of the orientation of the practice field in relation to the tournament field. But a lot of the teams, you could see as the morning progressed, they were starting more and more in the center. And that's what this advantage of having been on this field already poses for the athletes who have been fortunate enough to make the team rounds this morning.
Jo Arum, the first shot for her here in this bronze medal mixed team match.
And that was very good form, especially for someone who's a newcomer to this level of competition. There was no tying up under the clicker. Her shot looked nice and smooth, and her execution was really good. And I mean, when you're coming up against a veteran like Deepika Kumari, sometimes you can get a little bit nervous. But again, if you're able to hold yourself, and that's not very good.
Down in the 6 ring.
Yeah, coming up against a veteran who can potentially just beat you with her eyes closed, it's sometimes intimidating, but I think that was a little bit of a gift for Korea.
Made Deepika Kumari seem a little bit more human after shooting that 6, and we have noticed just in the last, I would say, minute or so, the breeze has, I won't call it a wind, but a breeze has picked up down here. It seems as though it's protected by the buildings, but with skyscrapers like this, you also know that you get winds that go between the buildings, too. It can get a little tricky.
It's a funneling effect for sure, and we're luckily outside of being in between a lot of buildings, but there are lots of buildings around to just funnel the wind towards our field. So, I mean, it's a lose-lose situation. If you don't have the wind, this sun is just pounding its heat down on you. But if you get the wind, it feels great, but now you've got wind to contend with. And Korea just took the first set 36-33, I believe. And 2 set points for Korea. For the relative newcomers, Deepika is probably going to make sure that that doesn't happen again. You can see her coach talking to her, making sure that she's in the right headspace, because a lot of archers will start to spiral a little bit after shooting that something that they didn't expect to shoot. I saw it this morning when one of the Korean men had a miss. And, I mean, I've only ever seen a Korean miss in Turkey.
It was so rare, and yet they still won.
Yeah, and so, I mean, it's something that the coaches have to know their archer, know what exactly to say to their archer, and say it at the proper time so that the archer recovers. So I think what she probably, again, I don't know her coach. I don't know what Deepika needs to have said to her, but it's probably something like, you know what you've done in the qualification round, you know your shot, just go out and do it, because there's nothing different. And that's absolutely right, there is nothing different. So get up there, take a good breath, and just get at it.
So Korea leading 2-0 already after the opening set. The youngsters Jo Arum and Park Sung-chol taking the advantage, and Deepika Kumari comes back with a much stronger effort.
That was a much better shot from her, by far.
And Tanu Das, who was on that men's bronze medal team this morning that defeated the GBR, and he continues to just shoot 10s, one after another.
Well, you need to do that at this level, especially on a team with GBR. I mean, you've got, for that GBR team, you had Larry Godfrey, Patrick Houston, and Kieran Slater. Those guys are very good shooters, especially Godfrey. And Patrick Houston apparently has no coach, but he's this good. So that's a lot of talent. That's
a 7.
He kind of looked at that shot, and I was looking at his expression. It just looked like a shot that went off where he did not want that to go off.
Just the way he pulled the bow away.
Yeah, it might have been pushed over a little bit by the wind.
Arum with a 9.
And I'm going to come back to her string hand on that, because she's got a very distinct way of grabbing the string that I've only seen a few archers do. They can get away with it, but it's something that I've always questioned. And Deepika makes a very good comeback after shooting that 6, and obviously she's in a better headspace than where she was a moment ago. Ten seconds left for Tanu Das. Lots of time. Unfortunately, dropping it just a little low.
So Das had a chance to put this one away, but
a 9 easily could have sealed the set for them.
But theoretically, a couple of 10s right here, and we would have a tie in the set. They'd split the points. Park Sung-chol.
And India has actually clinched the set.
By virtue of that 9, regardless of what happens on this shot.
I'm looking at Joe's string fingers. Look at her ring finger has slipped right off of the string.
It's effective, though.
It's effective, and I'm not bashing it by
no,
any
it's not
means.
criticism. It's just an observation.
It's an interesting thing because they only use the tips of their index and middle finger. Some archers. I'm not saying all archers. I'm not saying that this is the way you should or should not shoot. But a lot of people are able to hold onto the string with just the tips of their index and middle finger, and their ring finger has slipped off the string completely and is kind of there for the ride. So I've always questioned why some archers use a finger tab that needs the third finger, the ring finger, when they don't even use it. It's just an interesting thing that's always boggled my mind. So clearly it works for her, so there's no reason to change that, but it's interesting.
Recurve Sunday, sunblock Sunday in Shanghai. Temperatures right around 80 to 85 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about, 30 degrees?
It's hot.
Yeah.
It's hot.
Anywhere you are in the world, however you measure it, it is warm.
Yes, and it's surprising how some people are still wearing pants and a long sleeve shirt in the sun, because I was out there earlier and it's not comfortable, and you definitely need to stay hydrated today.
She stays right on course.
And that's the Deepika that we're used to seeing. Kind of an emotionless 10 shooting machine.
24-year-old Atanu Das. A little bit high that time. Shots sailing on him.
And it's a 9 or a 10. I think it might have caught the line.
I think it caught the line.
Yeah.
Mr. Park putting one on the line. And Korea could take the advantage.
And that's a 10. That's a 1-point advantage so far in this set. So if both teams shoot clean from here on in, Korea will take this, but we'll see what happens in the next 2 arrows for each team.
So the silver medalist from Mexico City last fall back up to the shooting line.
Ooh, not going to be happy with that one. It's a little bit high right. And that seems to be the trend on this field for whatever reason. High right is where the archers want to go. And looking at the windsocks on the field right now, it's not showing anything definitive to indicate that high right is what should be shot right now for a bad shot. That's a 10.
So Das dials it back in.
Korea just needs 2 9s to take this set.
Mr. Park going for his second medal of the day. Has a gold in his pocket already and going for the gold again.
So an 8 or better will win this set. That's it.
So essentially, she's just using 2 fingers.
Essentially, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. There's a lot of archers that have a deeper hook on the string, and they've grabbed the string with all 3 fingers, and that's kind of the way I shoot. And it goes from both spectrums, from the way I've got a deep grip on the string to Miss Joe with the fingertips of only 2 fingers on the string. Either way you do it, if you do it consistently, that's all that matters. And the consistency is what every archer is after. It doesn't matter what your equipment is doing, what type of mindset you do. If you have the consistency, that's what's going to make you the better archer.
Right now, Korea the better team, leading 4-2 after 3 sets of this mixed team bronze medal match here at the 2016 Stage 1 Hyundai Archery World Cup Tour opener. And Deepika, along with Atanu Das, trying to battle their way back, needing to win this next set. Can't afford a split.
So a win in this next set will force the shoot-off. And we haven't seen any shoot-offs yet today, so we'll see what happens this afternoon.
After watching what seemed to be one shoot-off after another yesterday in compound. So Deepika opens with a 9. And Das matches that.
Never noticed the arrow tattoo on his forearm before. It's kind of cool.
Kind of cool?
Yeah.
You feel like getting a tattoo?
Not particularly.
No, okay. I'm not looking for any more pain in my life either. I'm a coward.
I find no need to spend money on that. Personally, other people do it, and some people do it very, very well.
And if you want to do that, that's great.
Yeah. Just not something for me. That's a good shot. Little low 9.
Tied up at 18.
As long as Korea just matches India, they're going to take this match.
Trying to make the move. And there's the move she was hoping to make. Deepika on that team silver medal winning, or I should say the team that won the silver medal in Copenhagen, the World Championships. And she's had success in Shanghai before. Looking for more. Looks like a 10.
Looks like spotters are calling it a 10. On the TV it looked like a 9 or a 10, but we'll trust what the spotters with the spotting scope have to say.
But they're not out of the woods yet.
No, they are not. If Korea drops anything but a 10, we're going to a shoot-off. This is a crucial arrow.
Park Sung-chul, 20 years old, unranked, unknown, but comes through with the 10.
So now a 10 needed for the win.
Jo Arum. First time on this stage, shooting for the bronze medal. Nope.
Shoot off.
Get some encouragement from her teammate, but they're headed for the shoot off now, and so it'll be one arrow for each of these archers in the one arrow shoot off. Tied up at 4 apiece. Korea winning the first and the third sets. India winning the second and the fourth. And a back and forth battle right here, which will be decided with the shoot-off. No shoot-offs this morning, in case you're just joining us in the team competition. Chinese Taipei captured the gold medal, defeating India 6-2, and Russia knocked off Germany 5-1 to win the bronze medal. That was in women's team competition. Then, a little bit later on, it was Korea, a young team of Koreans, including this young man, Park Sung-chul. They defeated the Netherlands 5-3. So the Dutch settled for the silver, and India knocked off Great Britain 6-0 to win the bronze medal. So we did not even come close, did not even sniff a shoot-off during the team competition this morning.
It was very quick matches this morning.
It was. Although that men's gold medal match was pretty interesting.
It was. It was unfortunate for the Korean archer who had to deal with having to, display that he had a miss, and he looked really nervous when he did it, but he came back right away after that, which was the sign of a great archer.
And they beat a team with some very, very talented archers, Rick van der Van and Jeff Vandenberg.
Yeah. And Mick de Bakker.
Mick de Bakker, too, yeah.
So for anybody who is unclear about the shoot-off rules, in the finals venue, the shoot-off will consist of an archer, I think from Korea, will be shooting first. So Korea's first archer will shoot 1 arrow, step off the line, and India's first archer will shoot 1 arrow. And then Korea's second archer will shoot an arrow, and then India's second archer will shoot an arrow. The team with the highest score out of the 2 arrows will win the match. If the score is still tied, then they'll look at the arrow that is closest to the center. The team with the arrow closest to the center will win the shoot-off. If those are still tied, you go to the second arrow from each team, and the second arrow closest to the center will win the team.
And we've seen that before.
We've seen that before.
It's not unusual.
But I've never seen anybody go to a second shoot-off for the team. That is a rarity I have never experienced.
So all eyes trained on that shooting line. Korea and India starting off the afternoon session here in Shanghai at stage 1, the mixed team bronze medal match. and a shoot-off.
10-11 बजे से ही वो हैंड खाली 9 बजे तरफ रखना, कॉन्फिडेंस फिनिश करना.
India shooting first. My mistake.
हल्का सा विंड चेंज है.
So Deepika Kumari, who won a silver medal here in Shanghai in 2013 as well as 2010, has 25 World Cup medals on her resume,
10 के सामने.
offers up a 9.
सुनाई दिया था मेरा?
Mr. Park to shoot first for Korea.
He was shuffling back and forth with that arrow. I could see a very, very small movement of the arrow moving back, forward and back, which just shows that he had a little bit of a hesitation underneath the clicker. He didn't come confidently straight through the clicker.
Now Atanu Das. So pair of 9s. Both of those 9s closer, I would think, to the center than the 9 we saw from Park Chung-sol.
So Miss Jo needs basically a 9.9 or better to win.
Can she clinch it?
No,
Ooh.
India wins. India will take that shoot off by an arrow closer to the center. And by now we're just splitting hairs at that point.
Right.
So this is, I believe, India's target. And you can see the arrow at 9 o'clock is about a centimeter away from the 10 ring. And Korea's 2 arrows are further away. They're still going to measure.
Just to make sure.
Just to make sure. And I'm sure the Korean coach has asked for that one. And you can see the calipers, and it's basically like curling. There's a pinpoint that goes on right on that X mark in the middle of the target. And this is our Falco Eye system, measuring the 2 closer arrows. And you can see the distances on the bottom right of each of the screens. And the judge is asking for a little bit of space because the coaches can get pretty intense.
Give me some room, fellas.
And the judge has
There is the
indicated
decision.
India.
It
There
goes
we
to
go.
India. So India comes back after falling from behind, and in a shoot-off that really nobody seemed to take real charge of.
Well, I mean, in the shoot-off situation, that is when your fitness level really starts to show as well. Like, not just your raw talent, but having been in plenty of shoot-offs myself, your heart rate just goes through the roof sometimes, and you have to be able to be in control of your mind and your body to be able to bring that heart rate back down and concentrate on the shot that you need to make. And Tanu Das, I could see it in his pre-shot routine where he was just breathing. He had his eyes closed for just at least a little bit, but that was kind of his thing to do. But either way, congratulations to Team Korea putting up a great fight against Team India. Team India are both the more, I would say, experienced archers on the world scene. Versus Korea's archers. I mean, they're new, but they're talented and they're good. So we probably haven't seen the last of them, but congrats to India for winning the bronze medal.
It does speak to the talent and the depth of talent and the pool of talent they have in Korea.
Yeah.
That they can send 2 youngsters like that here to a stage 1 on the World Cup Tour, get them into the bronze medal match, and almost win it in a shoot-off.
Yeah.
Here at the base of the World Financial Center, that's we affectionately call that the bottle opener.
The bottle opener or the purse, I think. The purse is...
Has it been called the purse?
I've heard it called the purse and
Well, I
the
know
bottle
there is a
opener.
lot of money tied up with that building. Yeah. That may be appropriate.
It was also in a Mission Impossible movie. I mean, it's pretty well renowned.
Amazing architecture and great archery
there's-
going hand in hand.
Serrano just laying back and enjoying the sun.
Just chilling.
I don't know how he's wearing jeans in that weather, though, but it's hot out there.
You know, if you're a world-class archer, life is pretty good. Life is good. And it is.
To some archers.
To some.
Yeah.
And it's good for the team from India, Tanu Das. Congratulations to him and Deepika Kumari as they pick up the mixed team bronze medal. Now we move on to the mixed team gold medal match. A year ago it was Korea beating Japan. Today it's the USA taking on Chinese Taipei. 2 of the big hitters, Katuna Lorig, Brady Ellison, representing the USA. These 2 scored a 6-2 win over Australia earlier this week. Then they blanked Denmark and then Korea by identical scores of 6-0. So, Katuna Lorig on the left and Brady Ellison on the right. Both of them veterans. with a wealth of experience.
And that's a very different attitude that I've seen from Katuna. If you can still go on YouTube and look up some videos of her from back in, let's say, 2008. And she was very stoic. She had no expression on her face. She was wearing sunglasses. When they announced her name, basically step forward, wave at the crowd, step back, no expression whatsoever. And we're seeing a totally different Katuna Lord today.
Enjoying the spotlight. And she's in the spotlight, as is Ten Yating and Wei Chun Heng. The two archers, both very young. Ten Yating, 22. Wei Chun Heng, 21. Those two scored 6-2 victories over Indonesia, a 5-1 defeat of Mexico, and then a 5-3 win over India to get into this gold medal match against Ellison and Lorig. This should be interesting, really interesting. Ten Yating's really emerged lately as a real force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, she's an amazing shooter. I'm not even hesitating to say that. She's got mounds of talent, mounds of support, and she's done great things for the team from Chinese Taipei. That being said, I mean, you're looking at one of the most well-known coaches in the world, Ki-Sik Lee, and looking at Brady Ellison, one of the most famous archers in the world as well.
Who had an amazing week, scored 697 out of a possible score of 720.
With the world record at 699.
That's right. That was Kim Buberman.
No, that was Im Dong-hyun.
Oh, you're right, Im Dong-hyun with the 699. It was Buberman with the 698. So Brady's score was actually the third best.
That is a good place to be. And Brady showing that form, he scored a 10 on his first arrow.
Now Katuna Lorig. 5 Olympic Games for 3 different nations.
And it's a low 8.
So now Tan Yating, who picked up a women's team gold medal this morning. So another 9 right here by Wei Chun Heng, who is shooting for his first World Cup medal. Advantage USA by 1.
That was a very good release.
What a great start. Brady Ellison getting out of the gates in a hurry.
I don't really remember in my match, team match against him. I think he only dropped 1-9 against us when it was USA versus Canada, and we got to kind of look over at him and just say, that's not fair, man.
That's demoralizing, isn't it?
Give us a chance. But that's what he does. This is what he does for a living, and that's why he's good at it. And he's got a lot of good support behind him as well.
Chinese Taipei with a chance to tie, split the set points. But they need a 10 from Mr. Wei.
It looks like we've got a right to left wind on the field of play now.
And it looks like a victory for the United States in this set at least. So the USA will take the first set and grab a 2-0 lead in the mixed team gold medal match. We will see Tan Yating, by the way, later on. She will shoot for the women's gold medal in just a little bit in the individual matches coming up. Great crowd here in the stands. And a great job by the local organizing committee putting this venue together. It took more than a week to build this venue here at the Central Green.
That's impressive.
And it's an area that many have asked to use to stage events, and not many have been granted permission. So it's an honor to be here.
I can't imagine having to run around that pond every time you want to do something downrange, and then we have to go back and say, oh no, I forgot my pair of pliers in the truck back there underneath the stands, and you have to run around the...
It's been an elaborate setup. From a technical standpoint for the television crew, they had to have rubber piping put in so they could run cables through the water, or across the water at least. So it has been a challenge to create this venue right in the heart of the Pudong Financial District. An amazing area. The redevelopment began here 22 years ago, which is about how old Tanya Ting is. Yep, she's 22.
Yeah, I'm having to contend with the fact that I'm one of the older archers on the field of play nowadays.
Well, as long as you don't have your ARP card yet, you're all right.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, so that's a good thing.
Association of Old People.
Oh, okay.
When you get that in the mail, then you know.
Guess you can be older in age, but not at heart.
That's right. 27-year-old Brady Ellison. First time he's been outside that center circle. And Katuna cashes in.
That was a good shot. Saw her come off the string, and it's one of those things where an archer looks at another archer shot and say, that has to be a 10.
Tanya Ting, 8th in the world, teamed up with Wei Chung Heng, 26th in the world. His shot veers into the red zone. So an opportunity for the United States.
2 10s will win the set. Pretty sure Brady's used to shooting those by now.
There we go.
Ellison nails it.
Pushed his bow up a little bit after the shot. Not sure if that was a causation or a reaction.
And Katuna.
Ooh, 8 or 9.
Did she catch the line? It's critical. If it's a 9, they split the points. If it's outside that line, Kiskali seems to think it's a 9.
Yeah. And believe it or not, this is the time a spotting scope is much better than TV.
I would hope so. So it would appear they did split the points,
Yep.
and the score goes to 3-1 in favor of the United States. Tanya Ting, 39 career victories coming to China this week. 6 World Championship medals on her CV, 3 World Cup medals, actually 4 now after this morning's gold medal in the team competition. Won a team gold in Shanghai back in 2013 as well. It's really amazing. You think about it. Chinese Taipei, an island nation, population not all that large, and they're still able to produce as many great archers as they do.
Yeah. They've always been there at the top, producing great archers. And they just continue to do so.
Not what she had in mind, obviously.
No.
One that got away from Tanya Ting and now needs some help from Mr. Wei.
And Chinese Taipei is one of those countries that's also imported a Korean coach. I do know that they've got one. It's a 9 just out. And, I mean, he's probably been pivotal. That's the Korean coach right there on the left. It's funny, I remember last year I was in a coffee shop here, and all the Korean coaches from all the different nations were together having coffee, all in their different team uniforms, speaking Korean. It was fun to watch.
In the third set of the mixed team gold medal match. Katuna Lorig.
Nice.
Right on the line. Got it.
The Chinese Taipei needs to win this set, or at least tie. If USA wins this in the next 2 arrows, they win the gold medal.
So back against the wall. Tanya Ting releases a 10.
Sometimes an archer backed against the wall is what they need just to get the 10s rolling. That's a good 10.
And they got it rolling. They got it rolling, so they've got a chance. The USA can put it away. Brady Ellison, Katuna Lorig, looking for the 2 shots they need to end this in this set.
Yep.
Great form, and a great result. So he sets the table for Katuna.
A 9 will win.
USA up 3-1. This shot for the win. She got it.
She got it.
It's over. And the gold medal belongs to the United States. Brady Ellison and Katuna Lorig teaming up to bring home the gold. So another gold medal. I don't know where these guys put their medals anymore. Brady Ellison had 134 wins in his career coming to China this week.
Maybe he's got a storage bunker of some sort.
I think a storage shed somewhere. Yeah. No.
A unit. A whole unit.
I'd have the trophy room.
It's probably his man cave, another house.
Yes.
Built somewhere.
So the 3-time gold medalist at the World Cup Finals from Edinburgh in 2010, Istanbul 2011, and Lausanne in 2014 adds yet another victory to his resume, as does Katuna Lorig, who was the gold medalist in Las Vegas earlier this year. Almost forgot about that. Now that we're outside again,
yeah,
kind of tend to forget the indoor season a little bit.
Nobody wants to remember the monotony of shooting 18 meters indoors.
Indoors?
No wind, no sun, no elements.
Talk about that a little bit. I mean, it is a big change in going back outside again.
It is, and I mean, by the end of the outdoor season, a lot of archers have that talent back to be able to read the wind, read the conditions, predict what's going to happen on the field before you've even released the arrows, and you lose a little bit of that when you go to the indoor season, just because you're not being immersed in it day after day when you go to train.
You're not dealing with it.
Yeah, you're not training with it all the time. So if you've lost that skill, it sometimes takes some archers a little bit of time to get back into that before they find their stride for the outdoor season, which is why a lot of archers who live in a cold country, like myself, for example, in the wintertime, I do have a 70-meter indoor range, but I'd rather shoot outside, which means that I fly down to Florida, and I train down in Florida just to keep that skill of shooting outdoors fresh in my mind.
Because it is so different. The weather conditions, the distance, the targets, all of that plays into it. So a little bit of a transition. And I think we've seen some of that this weekend or in this entire week with archers trying to make that transition, going back outdoors. Now we go to, and we transition to the individual matches, the bronze and gold medal matches. And these will be decided in 5 sets, 3 arrows per archer per set. And they're shooting at 70 meters, of course. 2 points awarded for winning a set, 1 point for a tie. And the first archer to score 6 points or more wins the match and the medal. If there's a tie again, we'll go to the 1 arrow shoot-off. So, in the bronze medal match, Korea's Kim Chae-yoon, who had herself a great week. 7-3 win over Elena Richter. And defeating Japan's Kawanaka Kaori. And today she will take on Maya Jaeger from Denmark. Maya Jaeger won a shoot-off against Naomi Folkard of England, and then had a 2-point win over Deepika Kumari. So Maya Jaeger has had a great deal of success on the World Cup circuit. Shooting for Denmark against Kim Chae-yoon of Korea. Now, a year ago, it was Kibo Bae who blanked Karina Winter of Germany 6-0 to win the women's bronze medal. I don't expect to see a sweep in this one.
They're very close, and Maya Jaeger is a very, very good match play shooter. I mean, enough can be said about her career, also winning in a shoot-off in 2013 at Belek. I mean, she was against...
That was a remarkable shoot-off.
I remember seeing the
remember?
overlay.
Yes, the overlay of the 2 targets, yeah.
And just going...
The hole was in the same spot.
I can't even... Yeah, exactly the same spot.
Exactly the same spot.
And I couldn't even decide which one was closer, but when the calipers were taken out and measured, it was deemed that Maya's arrow was closer.
2013 Bellick. Let's see, who else won a medal there?
Some guy from Canada.
Some guy from Canada. I seem to remember. Crispin, yeah, it's coming back to me now.
Some dude.
Canada's Crispin Duenas, who was the bronze medalist at the World Championships in Bellick 2013, joining yours truly, Carl Arky, here in Shanghai for the women's bronze medal match at Stage 1. The kickoff of the 2016 outdoor season, brought to you by Hyundai.
Also, an interesting thing about Maya Yeager is I know that she's gone to Korea a lot to train there, and so she just kind of lives abroad, doing this thing, this archery thing full time, and getting help from the best coaches and archers in the world.
Talk about dedication, leaving home.
And it is something that a lot of top archers will actually do. They'll go and seek out really good training partners just to get a better experience. And let's see what Miss Kim shoots here. And she takes the set.
Oh, takes the set with a 10. It's
I
a
should say
big-time shot.
Unofficially takes the set because Maya Yeager's first shot was a 9 or a 10.
So it could be a split.
It could be a split, but we'll see what happens when they take a closer look at that.
Kim Chae-yun. Again, we need to repeat this. The 6 Olympic qualifiers from Korea did not make the trip to Shanghai this week to compete in Stage 1. They have sent, as you said, not even their junior team. Mm-hmm. They're sending their 20 and under team.
Yeah.
And Kim Chae-yun is part of this team.
Yeah.
And they've made it to medal matches.
They're good.
They're good.
That's all you really need to realize is that
systematically, it's amazing.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's kind of expected, and I do know that it is a fact that to make the Korean Olympic team is harder than winning the Olympics itself. So that's evident by who's going to be on the Korean national team going to the Olympics. It's been announced, it's been displayed out there, and the only returning member is Kibo Bae.
Yeah.
So the men's team are all new Olympians and 2 new Olympic women.
Kibo Bae will get a chance to defend her Olympic title, and not many get a chance to do that.
Yeah.
Shooting for Korea.
Not many get a chance to win the Olympics, let alone defend their Olympics. Yeah.
It speaks to her greatness.
That's a beautiful shot. Very good shot. I will comment, Maya just looks a little tense. It's not free-flowing. Yeah, that looked like a tense shot. It didn't have the life that I'm used to seeing out of her shot, which could be why it's low. If you don't let the bow do what it wants, and you don't let your... I say like being like an elastic. Just let it all spring out when the shot breaks. Then you get low arrows. But that's...
Surprising 6, though. Just as we say this...
I didn't know what to say.
that changes the complexion, at least of this set.
Mm-hmm.
It may not of the entire match, but it certainly breathes new life into the hopes of Maya Yeager.
But Kim just needs to shoot a 9 to take this set, which should be elementary for her.
One would think.
Oh,
how about a 10?
Whatever.
Will a 10 do?
Yeah.
10 will do.
And just looking at her string hand again, like what I had said a couple matches ago, she's only holding onto the string with 2 fingers. That ring finger has completely slipped off and almost looks like it's underneath the bowstring. Maybe we'll be able to see it in a little while. And that's a lot of GoPros strapped to his tripod.
They'll be breaking down the video.
They will, and I have seen the Koreans, the Korean coaches, specifically seeking out good spots in the stands to get good angles.
So they can analyze it later?
Video analysis of their archers, and that's pretty important, and that's key for archers in their progression on this type of stage. What were you doing? What were you doing in between arrows? Like, what is your optimal performance state? My sports psych and I call it the arousal state. Where are you in relation to being too high or too low? Like, how do you get into that? So video analysis is definitely something important that a lot of archers should be doing.
A 4-0 lead. Or if you want to look at it from Maya Yeager's standpoint, a 4-0-4 deficit. So she has a rather large hill to climb and trying to come back against the youngster from Korea, Kim Chae-yun. And aside from that 6, I don't think she's been outside the gold rings at all, has she?
Yeah. That's unfortunate, but it's off to the right. That's exactly where Miss Kim's 6 was, out to the right.
Actually, I stand corrected. Her first shot of the match was an 8.
8, yeah, that's right. This isn't looking too good for Maya right now.
Down 4-0. Maya Yeager in a tough spot right now.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Could be a clean sweep for Ms. Kim, who can put it away on this shot. And does.
Well, that is very good shooting for Ms. Kim at this stage, especially in her career, not having been here before, but I'm sure that they put a lot of stuff on in Korea that mimics what happens at World Cups and everything. So congratulations to Ms. Kim. And good shooting by Maya Yeager. Just unfortunately wasn't as tight shooting as Kim. Although her shots looked tight, in my opinion. She wasn't as loose and relaxed as I've seen her do before.
Coach had to coach her through the celebration there. This is how you wave to the cameras, and yeah, she hasn't been here before.
Yeah, and
except it looked like she'd been here before when she stepped up to shoot.
Yeah, I think she's done a million of those.
Yeah, a million, maybe more.
But it was interesting watching one of the men from Korea this morning, and it looked like he was very military in everything that he was doing. So he didn't need to get told how to address the crowd. He already had this procedure of, it looks like just army procedure. His hands were.
He appeared to be in the military, yes.
Yeah, and I saw them when they were before they were getting up onto the podium. It looked like Korea had a sunglass sponsor, so they were trying to get all of these sunglasses onto all of their archers, and the military archer was just refusing anything to wear while he was up there. He was very, this is how I do it, this is probably what the military wants to see. And I mean, it was unfortunate that some people were laughing at his mannerisms on the podium, but I thought it was really good of him to show his true heritage and his true roots of who he is and what he does besides archery.
His name is Han Jae-ah, and I thought he was very impressive. Obviously has a military background.
And he's very good to talk to. One of my teammates shot on a target with him during the qualification round, and he is a very amicable guy. He's very approachable, has good conversation.
But highly disciplined.
Highly disciplined.
And
I like that in him. His other two, not saying that his teammates didn't look disciplined, but he
stood out. Let's just put it that way.
Yes.
He stood out.
Thank you for finishing that one off for me.
Yeah. No, he did, obviously. And flying fish. How about that? Did you see the fish fly out of the water?
I was a little distracted by the fish this morning, I will admit
that.
You
really? See, it is a distraction. Those fish jumping out of the water, you're trying to shoot at that target 70 meters away. This just is not all that easy. World Cup, or I should say the women's gold medal match. And we're going to see Tan Yating one more time, but first meet Ju Haebin from Korea, another Korean archer, making her first appearance on the World Cup stage. She survived a tiebreaker this week in qualification, otherwise made it through without too much trouble. But making her first appearance on the international stage, and now Tan Yating is making her third appearance of the day.
She's going to have a overweight luggage with medals, I think, on the way home.
In this heat, and, obviously she appears to be in great shape, but do you start to wear down a little bit?
You have to know when to have, we call it narrow and wide focus, when to actually turn on the engine and turn it off. Because you can't be in competition mode for the whole time, even in between matches. You have to know when to relax. You have to know your body and know when to be able to say, okay, I just finished a match. I can relax, I can breathe, I can do this, I can do that, whatever. And each archer has their own coping mechanisms. And then to be able to bring it back in and get that narrow focus back in and say, okay, this is my job, I've got to do this. So it looks like Tan Yating is really good at that today, especially in this heat with this type of level of competition, going for a third medal. She's coming out of this with a medal. At the worst, it's a silver. But she's not thinking about that. She wants that gold.
So Tan Yating, her third appearance on the shooting line today. Dead center, down the middle, right down Broadway.
I mean, the only way you can get better than that is hitting the spider in the middle of the target, but an X will do.
Doesn't phase her opponent. Ju Haibin from Korea. Also in the 10 ring. Game on, Garth.
I think her name should be Ten Ya Ting.
Ten Ya Ting?
Oh, I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, YouTube.
So far, 4 shots, 4 tens. Three in a row. Forget the flying fish. That's a flying start for both of those archers. How about that?
Oh, my goodness. This is amazing.
All right, it's on now.
It is on.
It's on. It's on.
It says, I don't care what you shoot, I'm still going to shoot a 30. And even if you shot a 30, I'm not letting you have any room whatsoever. That's amazing shooting. I think that's the first time I've ever seen that done.
On a warm Sunday afternoon in Shanghai. These two are really heating it up right now, right out of the chutes. Both of them shooting 3 straight tens. Ten Ya Ting set the tone early on. She almost hit the spider. Almost got that X. But it didn't phase her opponent. Ju Haibin not rattled at all.
I will say, as an archer, it's kind of sucks to shoot a 30 and only get 1 point out of it. You'd expect to get 2 points out of your 30, but it's...
On the other hand, maybe you have to look at it this way. If I hadn't shot that 30, I'm down 2-0.
Yeah, that's a definite good way of looking at it.
You gotta look for those silver linings, Crispin. I'll work with you.
Okay.
Oh. And the first shot that's not a 10.
But that's good. It's still good.
Ju Haibin. And she had been very good up till that point.
That was the wrong target. There we go.
We'll find that target.
It's
There's the 9. Or an 8, excuse
yeah.
me.
It's a 9. We're tied.
Almost in exactly the same spot.
10 to win this set.
Wow.
There it is.
And she got it.
And so the interesting thing here that we've seen is a lot of archers focus on what happens when shooting is bad. And I think I've said this one before. A lot of archers train for that. What happens when you shoot bad? What happens if this happens? What happens if that happens? But a lot of archers also have to train what happens if you're shooting good. If you're on a roll or on a streak,
How do you
30s,
stay on that?
How do you stay on that, or how do you calm your mind to not think about what you're doing? And that's one of those situations here. I know that my coach probably would have said, how come you didn't shoot any 10s there? Or as many 10s, because you just did it. It's something that a lot of archers have to train, and there are various training techniques that archers use to train for the condition or the instant of shooting well. And that's one thing that these girls probably have done before. It was a little bit of a surprise that both of them shot 30. That's closer.
Trying to get back in there. She had 3 straight 10s to start this match. Then in that second set, a 9, an 8, and a 9. Now another 9 for Ten Ya Ting and a 9 for Ju Haibin. It's so interesting how you can be that sharp to start off a match, and all of a sudden now...
Yeah, and it doesn't look like the conditions have changed on the field of play, at least not that I can see.
Ju Haibin in position to take this set as well after that 10. Overcorrecting.
Yeah, I saw her moving her sight after the second shot. I'm wondering if that was a little too preemptive.
Wow.
In any case, the set goes to the Korean Ju Haibin.
that quickly, we are at 5-1.
So after watching Kim Chae-yoon win the women's bronze medal, another newcomer, another youngster, Ju Hai-bin, coming out, weathering the storm early on as Tan Yat-ting posted 3 straight 10s. She matched those 3 straight 10s, and now she's won the next 2 sets and is in command of this match, leading it 5-1. So essentially right now, Tan Yat-ting has got to win the next 2 sets.
She needs to win just to force a shoot-off.
Just to force a shoot-off. A fact I'm sure she is more than well aware of. You have to be aware of that, but you can't let that pressure get to you.
Chances are she's not exactly thinking about that. She's thinking about shooting, executing good shots. But that's just on paper what she needs to do.
That is what we saw in that opening set.
That opening arrow, actually. I think that was matching her opening arrow a little bit closer, actually.
Look of determination on the face of Ju Hai-bin.
Tan Yat-ting can't afford a tie here. Needs to shoot a 10 just to put a little bit of pressure. Going high.
Door is wide open now.
A 9 will win.
Ju Hai-bin for the gold. Instead, is it outside? It looks like it's an 8, but they put the asterisk up, so
we need to see what that arrow call is. She had a little bit of a shaky bow arm when she was at full draw, and that's being the rookie on the field. And we're looking at
that's nerves, isn't it?
That is nerves, and
well,
that's
that
going to get an arrow
it looks like it's grazing the line.
Yeah, and again, if you're new to archery and don't know the rules, if an arrow is touching the line of the higher value,
just barely touching it,
then it's the higher score, because the outside circumference of that thick ring is what counts as the next higher value.
You can see the judge again shooing away the
coaches.
The coaches.
I should say the arrow agents.
Yes.
And they're being pulled down. And the hand is up, and it shows Korea.
It is Korea winning it. The gold medal goes to Ju Hai-bin. Had to wait a moment or two, but the suspense is over, and she has won the gold medal here at Stage 1 in Shanghai. And she does it in convincing fashion. What an impressive win for her, as she wins it by the score of 6-2, splitting that set, picking up the 1 point she needed, and wins going away 6-2 over Tan Yat-ting, a very, very worthy opponent.
And it wasn't bad shooting by Tan Yat-ting. It's just Ju was a little bit more consistent in the middle, and I hope the Korean coaches are all happy with that performance. It's definitely something they are going to be marking down on her permanent record in their Korean archer archives of who to pick for the next team or whatnot.
Well, you look at the sets. Tan Yat-ting only lost the second set by 1 point. She lost the third set by 2 points. So it was a close match, but on the scoreboard, a commanding victory for Ju Hai-bin. So Korea takes gold and bronze in the women's recurve competition here on Recurve Sunday in Shanghai, along with Crispin Duenas of Canada, Carl Arky from the United States. And while we've got a moment, we'd like to thank our World Archery official sponsors, Hyundai, proud sponsor of World Archery. New thinking, new possibilities. I love that new car that's down there by the targets.
Do we know what type of car that is?
It looks like a great car. One I would be happy to drive. Considering the shape mine are in. Good look at the architecture, the astounding architecture here in
second
the
tallest
Pudong
building
district.
in the world as well.
Yeah, 127 stories, that Shanghai Tower, and that's the World Financial Center, the bottle opener on the left.
And I knew it sounded a little crazy, but anybody who knows me knows how much I actually do like to work out. I would love to run up the stairs in that building.
Would you like to run up the stairs?
We
might be able to arrange that for you, Crispin.
It sounds a little crazy, but I've done the CN Tower in Toronto, and that has close to 1,800 steps in it, and I see it as a nice challenge. It's obviously not going to be pleasant on my legs probably the next day, but it's a challenge.
Let me just remind you, it's 127 stories. It is the second tallest building in the world. 127 stories. How many steps would that be, you think?
I couldn't even tell you.
Well, I can tell you this. We're getting ready for the men's bronze medal match. And we get set for Ernesto Boardman of Mexico. So Ernesto Boardman of Mexico making his first appearance here on the World Cup stage in a medal match of this magnitude.
And his coach is Luis Velez, who's also an ex-archer. I should say ex-archer. He's probably still shooting. But on the World Cup scene, he hasn't competed for several World Cups now, or several years, I should say. But he's here as a team staff, and that's a pretty good person to have.
Wei Chun Heng back out there again. He was in the mixed team competition, where he took a silver medal along with Tanya Ting. Those two losing to the United States, Brady Ellison and Katuna Lorg, in case you're just joining us here on World Archery TV.
And Mr. Wei's coach is also an ex-archer. I remember competing in the 2008 Olympics alongside of his coach as a competitor. There's actually a lot of coaches here who have been competitors. The Netherlands has one, Turkey has one, Mexico, Chinese Taipei. It's a good thing to see that they're promoting archery, not just as archers, but now as a support staff.
Last year in Shanghai, it was Indonesia's Riau Agatha beating Korea's Lee Sung-yeon for the bronze medal. Here, Wei Chun Heng starts off with a 10.
It's a very good start. I shot with Boardman on the qualification day, and he is, even though he's a relatively new comer to the World Archery scene, or the World Cup scene, I should say, he's not somebody that you want to, discount or just brush off or anything. He's a very, very good shooter.
Well, he proved himself during qualification this week. He had a string of 5 straight wins in match play before he lost his 6th one in the semifinals, 7-3 to Chef Vandenberg. But before that, he had put together 5 straight wins.
So a 10 to tie.
Trying to hold it together.
Keep it strong is what his coach is saying.
There it is. That's a strong shot. Takes a strong man to hold it that long.
It does. I know from experience.
You've been there, yeah.
Yeah, and it's not something you want to do, but sometimes you have to do and just stick with the shot because you know that it's lined up properly and you know that it's going to be a good shot. It's just not taking as short of a time that it should take. But as long as you stick with it and keep going for it and you can stay strong, like what his coach was saying, you will get the rewards of doing that.
What would change from one shot to the next that would make you hold it full draw that much longer to line up the shot properly?
The biggest thing that a lot of recurve archers will face when they're under stressful situations is in the shoulders. You'll see them, or you'll find that they start to shrug just a little bit. Being a little bit nervous or being tense, you shrug. And if you shrug, you actually effectively shorten your draw length, which makes you not come through the clicker as quickly or as confidently as before. So a lot of relaxation techniques are needed to be able to keep your shoulders down and keep that line and that expansion through the clicker going and get shots like that.
Comes down to strength.
And it's actually where I failed in this tournament, I will say. It's a good shot.
Wei Chun Heng. These two tied up at 1 after the first set, splitting that first set. Men's bronze medal match here in Shanghai, stage 1. As we kick off the outdoor season on the Hyundai Archery World Cup Tour.
That's an 8. That looked like it went off a little bit too fast for his liking. I was surprised by the shot. 9 to win this set. See, the arrow is just sitting underneath the clicker. There we go. 10. Good.
Ernesto knocks it down, gets the 2 points, and moves ahead in the match, 3-1.
Sometimes in situations like this, when you're feeling a little nervous and you've got some tension in the shoulders, it feels like your arrow has grown another 5 millimeters or a quarter inch or whatnot. So it feels like you're pulling a lot more through the clicker than you usually do, but that's just because your body has reacted to being a little bit tense and not being as relaxed as you are when there's nothing on the line, when you're at practice or at training and you're just shooting arrows on like the same field that you've been on all your life.
Well, this is a totally different environment. It only adds to the tension,
and that's where you'll find the best archers separating themselves from just the regular archer in how they relax and what techniques they use to be able to tell themselves everything is exactly the same. The scenery has changed, but this is 70 meters. This is my bow. This is my arrow. That is not on steroids. It hasn't grown or anything, and just come through the clicker and hopefully maintain a good shot. Both of them shooting 8s low, but it seems like he's getting to full draw and just holding and aiming without doing the movement through the clicker that he needs to do.
Mr. Wei trying to battle back, looking for his way back, leading perhaps after this shot, we'll see. Nope, tied at 18.
Good.
9 or 10.
Very close.
A 10 will just seal it. 9 high, so that last arrow by Wei seems to be a little bit more important now. Either it's a tie or either Wei has shot and won this set.
So again, we await the judge's ruling on this. You get a good look at Ernesto Boardman. Had to shoot 6 matches in qualification to get through and get to this bronze medal match. Wei Cheng-heng beat Larry Gottfried 7-1. Atanu Das 6-2 and Jayanto Talukdar 6-2 before losing a shoot-off with Zach Garrett. We'll get into more of that shoot-off during the next match, the gold medal match between Zach Garrett and Chef Vandenberg. But it was a dramatic moment, I'm sure, for both of those archers.
Just out. That's a better time shot.
And officially it's appears to be tied at 3. Yes, 3-3.
That's a 10.
He looks surprised. So now Ernesto Boardman.
That's a little bit too much shake for my liking.
How do you like that?
I can't say much about that. But
it's a result-driven business.
It is.
Yes.
It is.
They don't give style points, do they?
I wish they did.
Boardman still with a chance to split the points. Tie the set. Needs a 10. Did he get it?
Just out.
Did he, or is it out?
It's out. Unfortunately, that's about a millimeter outside of the 10 ring, but there's clear yellow in between the arrow and the 10 ring.
So instead of splitting, it would appear as though he'll be down 5-3. Checks the fletching on those arrows. Just to be sure. Shadows starting to grow across grandstands, and
that's Mexico and Spain sitting together.
Juan Rene Serrano with the Foster grants.
And sorry, I told you that was Alvarino from Spain, the winner of the last year's World Cup final.
So 5-3 in favor of Wei Chung Heng.
8.9.
And Boardman in trouble. Even more trouble now.
Very much. He's got a very good group along the 10 line. That's at 6 to 5 o'clock, but it doesn't say 10 on the line on the scorecard.
Needs a pair of 10s on these last two shots and then some help along the way. Instead, it's a 9 now. And Wei Chung Heng.
Some good shooting.
Picks
by
up
Mr.
another
Wei.
10.
I don't know why he doesn't look very happy.
Bien, muy bien. Fuerte.
Again, taking a little bit longer. That is not how you want it to finish off, and this is going to be a 6 or better to win. Sorry, 5 or better to win.
And there it is. Wei Chung Heng of Chinese Taipei picking up his second medal of the day. Goes along with the silver medal that he won in the mixed team competition. And here he wins the bronze medal in convincing fashion. 7-3 the final score. And a good learning experience for Ernesto Boardman.
I believe he's still in the running for Mexico's Olympic team. And again, yes, it's a learning experience. It's something to take home. It's a moment to be able to relive in your mind and say, what could I do better, or what can I do the same?
Totally different environment when you get out here, and you alluded to that already, Crispin. I mean, so different. I look at it and it reminds me of golf to some degree. You're on the tee box,
Yep.
or you're on the green, and you're surrounded by all these people. You grew up
Everybody
playing.
is watching.
Everybody's watching. You're standing over that putt, or you're standing over that tee shot, and you got to block all that out.
Mm-hmm. And it can be intimidating to a lot of archers, and I've heard a lot of archers say it's really weird being on the field of play and being the only person shooting an arrow with everybody watching you. And there's our Secretary General, Tom Dielan, and he's pivotal in putting a lot of this together.
Team USA in the stands, taking in the sights here in Shanghai. A remarkable city. We are in the epicenter of the Pudong Financial District, an area that's been built basically over the last 22 years. You go look at the pictures; it's remarkable.
I love
this
seeing
whole
those,
area.
I love seeing those shots of.
Oh yeah.
This is what it
There
looked
was
like
nothing
in
here.
2000, and then 1999, or like 2005, 2010. And you
Here's
see,
another skyscraper.
There's another building. There's
Now another skyscraper. Yeah. And trying to stand tall right now in the gold medal match, Zach Garrett of the United States. You saw his cheering section in the grandstands. Mackenzie Brown up there, along with Jacob Wookie. And now Zach Garrett of the USA going for the gold here. Zach had to work hard to get here, had to win 6 matches. Won 4 of his first 5 matches, 6-0, then won another match, 6-2. Then he went up against Wei Chen Hung in the semifinals. It went to a shoot-off under the lights at Yuanshen Stadium.
Yep.
And it was Zach Garrett coming away with a thrilling and dramatic victory in that shoot-off to get into this match against the Netherlands' Chef Vandenberg. Chef beating Larry Godfrey 7-1, Atanu Das 6-2, Jayanta Talukdar 6-2.
No,
I believe it was different.
Yeah, well, I know that I faced Chef in my match, and he was in the top 8. So before my match, he had faced another archer and beat them handily 6-0. He beat me 6-0, and I was not happy about that. But he,
to say the least.
Yeah, and after that, he just kept on steamrolling the competition. He's a very, very talented shooter, and I had a really good chance to train with him earlier this year in the Netherlands. And seeing their training regimen is very, very conducive to high-level shooting. They put their archers through lots of competition, lots of set play, match play, everything that they can possibly think of, messing with their heads and doing everything to get them ready for situations like this. Not saying that the U.S. doesn't do that as well, but it was really good to be in that training situation.
Zach Garrett's first shot, right on target. So Zach Garrett, the 9th seed. And Chef Vandenberg, the number 2 seed.
He shot an amazing 350. Chef shot an amazing 350 for his second pass of 36 arrows. And it tied Brady's 350 for that second pass. And there's not many archers in the world that say they've shot 350 in competition.
Zach Garrett off to a good start. A couple of strong shots with those 2 10s. Meanwhile, no 10s for Chef Vandenberg on his opening set. Chef out on the field earlier today in the mixed team, or I should say the men's team gold medal match. The Netherlands settling for the silver, and right now, Zach Garrett not settling at all. Looks to be in a good place mentally, and obviously it shows with his shooting. 3 straight 10s for Zach Garrett, the 21-year-old who's ranked 11th in the world. Won a silver medal in Wrocław, Poland last year on the World Cup circuit. You know, Chef's been out here before, but Zach's out here for the first time. He's had to wait all day. And he gets out here and he shoots that well. I think that not an easy thing to do to walk out here, not having been out on the field already.
But again, it's what archers train for. They make the realization it's the same distance, it's the same equipment. Obviously, there's a lot more people watching you, but that mental control and control of your body is what makes an archer great. I love Rick van der Ven. He's never had like a really permanent, never gets a smile on his face for any reason.
Serious situation right now as Zach Garrett has the lead 2-0 in the match over Rick's teammate Chef Vandenberg. And Garrett with his first stray arrow.
Goed jongen, hoge team. Hiermee joh. Deze was ook mooi geschoten, beter dan die eerste.
So Vandenberg with the 10 now has the advantage in this second set. Trying to come back and tie it up at 2-all.
I don't know what happened there. That was very interesting. It didn't look like anything was wrong.
So an 8 and a 7 after opening up with 3 straight 10s. Now there's another 8.
But it doesn't really matter because Chef still won that set, so he should have just relaxed and shot his shot that he normally does because of Zach's 8 and 7. That's a good recovery.
Zach Garrett, yeah.
To be able to
build some
be
momentum.
Confidence. Yeah.
But the set points do go to Chef Vandenberg. We're tied up at 2-all. Here in the final match of the weekend here in Shanghai.
I forgot to mention that Chef's coach is Ron van der Hoff, and he's an ex-archer as well, ex-Olympian, so he knows exactly what the archers need to hear, when they need to hear it, and be able to draw on his experience as an athlete in this situation.
Zach Garrett, coached by Kisik Lee. And his American teammates in the grandstands cheering him on here. He's been battle tested, so has Chef Vandenberg. All these archers when they get to this point. So we're all even at 2 apiece. Full draw for a long time. Lands up in the 9 ring. Garrett gets it. Advantage Zach Garrett.
So far, no 9s for Zach. It's been 10s, an 8 and a 7.
Goed jongen, 10.
So basically what you're saying, when he's good, he's very, very good?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. When he does something, he does it to the best of his abilities.
Goed zo.
There's a 9.
You happy now? So all tied up, 19 apiece. Ooh.
That's
Jeff
a good,
Vandenberg trying to make his move.
good way to put a little bit of pressure on Zach Garrett.
A lot of pressure, I would think.
Zach needs a 10 just to tie. It's a little bit of a shaky bow arm.
Yep.
We're tied.
Still gets it.
They split. So the gold medal match is all even at 3 after the first 3 sets. Zach Garrett trying to stay focused. Same can be said for Chef Vandenberg from the Netherlands. Good look at Chef Vandenberg, 21 years old, ranked 9th in the world. 2 years ago here in Shanghai, won a team bronze medal. Has 4 world championship medals to his credit, including a silver from Las Vegas back in 2012. Only 21 years old. Same goes for Zach Garrett, 2 21-year-olds. Here in the shadows of these tall, tall skyscrapers in Shanghai.
Waar jong. Balans en druk hè. Zet er maar tussen. Goed jongen.
Wow.
Are you as surprised as I am?
Not really, because I know that he makes shots like that.
But judging by his reaction, you wouldn't think that was going to be a 10. Now, on the other side, Zach Garrett has to bring it down. How disconcerting is that when you have to bring it down and bring it back up again?
If you've trained to do something like that, it's a lot easier to be more confident in yourself because you know how long it takes you to make a shot.
Talk about confidence there.
Yeah. And I know that the Americans also train with shooting without a clicker. They know where the position is where they need to fire off their shots. So even if you had to take the arrow out from underneath the clicker and shoot it, these guys have that confidence to do it.
Zach Garrett battling to stay even with Chef Vandenberg. But Chef can secure this set and move ahead in the match 5-3 if he can find that 10 ring. And he does. The set will go to Chef Vandenberg.
He's known for doing this. I mean, he has. We were talking about style points earlier. He gets them out the wazoo because he can finish a shot with what looks like an unconventional follow through and still score 10s. And he did that to me in my match against him, just because I was having a little bit of a rough time getting the first 2 sets going. And in the 3rd set, I finally found my stride again and shot a 29. And he had 2 10s down there, and I figured, you know, at least it could be a tie. It'd be nice if he shot a 9. And his last shot, he did one of these.
Be nice, yeah.
He did one of these shots where it just everything ended up all over the place, but it was still a 10. And I
just wouldn't cooperate, would he?
No. He wouldn't. He wouldn't even let me have an extra set to play against him. But that's the way it happens. You got a lot of talented archers out here who know how to make a shot and how to execute a shot. And if they just come off the string in a certain way, the shot is still going to be a good shot.
Chef Vandenberg would obviously like to put it away right here. Zach Garrett wants to keep it going. From our standpoint, just from a television standpoint, we like the drama and the suspense of a shoot-off. But that may not happen after that 7 by Zach Garrett. That may have put the final nail in the proverbial coffin. But we'll see.
Hoge teen op de rand. Even maar een tikje hoor.
No, it looks like Chef's going for the jugular.
He's really, really nice guy. Very, very nice
yeah.
guy. But
No.
I think when he's shooting, it's all business. Nobody is allowed to let him lose.
So things coming undone a bit for Zach Garrett, who's had a great week here in Shanghai. Got to the gold medal match, a great achievement, but Chef Vandenberg, very steady right now and doing what he needs to do.
Consolation for shooting a 10 in your final arrow would be nice, or at least in the gold.
So 6 or better, actually 5 would do it. And I think Chef can do that with his eyes closed.
Yeah.
Got him open for that 10, and there's the gold medal. The Dutchman does it. Chef Vandenberg pulled away in the 4th set and put it away in the 5th set, and a high five from Ron Vanderhoff, his coach, as Chef Vandenberg scores his biggest win here on the World Cup circuit. At the age of 21, he gets the gold medal here in Shanghai and completes a very, very strong week for Chef Vandenberg and gives him a couple of medals on the day. As we said, the silver medalist in the team competition this morning and the gold medalist here this afternoon, and the cameramen say, hey, yeah, lift that arrow or that bow up one more time. Tough moment for Zach Garrett, obviously.
I've actually never seen 7s from Zach Garrett, having shot with him a bunch. So it's a little bit surprising, and I'm willing to bet they're going to be going back home to work on that and say, okay, what happened? How can we make it better next time? It's unfortunate, but as the Dutch say, and I was talking to them on the bus ride here, Santa Claus flew over and gave them a present.
Is that what the Dutch say?
They do say that, because they were saying that when the Korean this morning missed against them. They said that was Santa Claus. This all just came from the talk about how my flight home is going to fly over the North Pole.
The North Pole.
And I made a joke saying that, you're going to see Santa
Somehow
Claus.
we're talking about Santa Claus and how Santa Claus likes the Dutch team.
Yes, exactly.
Well, obviously they've been very, very good.
It was great shooting by both archers, nevertheless, because Zach Garrett had a great start. Just a couple hiccups in that match, but Chef showed himself to be the more consistent archer. And he started out shooting at 26 on the first set, but from there on out, he just kept on growing and growing in terms of score and shooting higher scores than that first end of 26. Maybe that was him sighting in, maybe it was just getting the nerves out of the way and just executing the shot no matter what happened. But either way, Chef really fought back hard from that first set and just came back strong. And I mean, the gold medal proves that he was the better archer in this match at the time.
It's just remarkable to me to see how, and we saw it not only in this match, in other matches. Tanya Ting, for instance, starts off so strong, and all of a sudden, you lose the magic. Somehow it goes away.
Yeah.
And I know that's got to be as more frustrating for the archer than anybody else.
It is, and sometimes the coach too, because the coach knows the archer and says, I know you can do better than this. What's going on? But, with that being said, a lot of archers, you'll see a lot of archers' scores just going up as the competition progresses, and I saw that with Chef's score this week during the qualification round, because his first half was a 337, which for a lot of archers would not be happy with a 337, and I'm sure that I knew for a fact he was feeling a little sick. He was very under the weather and everything, but his second half was a 350. So he shot a 687 with a 337 half. A lot of archers would love to just shoot a 687, but it was very good shooting by Chef, and he is a strong archer. He's strong mentally, strong physically, and he's got a lot of experience, a really good backup system. Not just to say backup, but
Support system. Yep.
Exactly. And this just shows the Dutch archery team that what they're doing is working, and it's very good.
The Indian team is also working very well. This is the medal presentation for the mixed teams. And in the mixed team bronze medal match, it was India winning a shoot-off. The only shoot-off we saw all day long, and it was Tanu Das and Deepika Kumari winning it 5-4 in the shoot-off. Seesaw battle that went back and forth, and they wound up with the bronze medal. Meanwhile, in the gold medal match, Chinese Taipei fell behind 2-0 early on. And the United States was able to pull away for a 5-1 victory. But Tanya Ting and Wei Chung Heng happy to collect these silver medals here in Shanghai. And, of course, the gold medal goes to the USA. Brady Ellison and Katuna Lorig timing it perfectly.
It's a big step up, actually.
Well, I'm sure it is. Literally and figuratively, a big step up. The two of the best in the business, Brady Ellison of the United States and Katuna Lorig, teaming up to win the gold medal in Shanghai at stage 1. Winning it 5-1, they jumped out to a 2-0 lead. Split the second set, won the third set, won it 5-1. They'll wrestle over that trophy. USA gets the gold, Chinese Taipei the silver, and India the bronze medal. Good run-up for these two, and actually for all these archers as they get set for the Olympics in Rio.
Yeah, it's a pretty important year, and another reason why there's only 3 stages of the World Cup this year, because it's such a jam-packed year of lots of tournaments for archers all over the world that include their continental qualifiers. And I mean, 2 weeks from now is going to be the European Championships, which is also a continental qualifier. And also in Medellin, in a couple weeks, we're going to be seeing...
About a week and a half we'll be down in South America.
I think I spend about 5 days at home, and then I have to fly to Colombia.
Water the plants a little bit, you know.
Do some laundry.
Put some food out for the cat.
Try to fight jet lag, and then go straight to Colombia. And they're going to be running the... the American Continental Qualifier to find out who from the countries who haven't qualified yet will get to represent their country at the Olympics. So it's just been this is the start of a season that is just wrought with tournaments pretty much weekly for these archers, and you have to start to consider which ones are you going to go to, which ones do you have to stay home from and just get some rest, because not only is competing important, but resting is a very important part of competition.
You know, this is off subject just a little bit, but as I was watching the shot of the skyline here in Shanghai, I was thinking about China holding the Winter Olympics.
When is that going to be?
Down the road. Okay. And wondering if Shanghai will have some events.
It's very possible.
Very possible.
I know that they have winter here.
Beijing, yeah.
Yeah.
It will be interesting to see what happens. It was interesting this afternoon to watch this Korean team. Very, very young group of Koreans sent here. We mentioned this before. The 6 Koreans who've already qualified for the Olympics, not here, not competing. So Korea sends its under-20 team. And look what they do. They come away with a bronze and a gold medal.
In the women's division. And I believe that's probably because the Korean team was letting their archers rest after their Olympic selection tournament that they had.
Which is so intense.
It is, and it's mentally draining. So it was probably about a week or almost 2 weeks ago. And like I said, it's a big mental strain on a lot of archers. The physical part of this sport is actually pretty simple, but to get your mind into the game and compete at a high level for a long time, it takes a lot out of you, so you need to be able to just rest.
And a great opportunity for these youngsters. Kim Chae-yun, she gets a chance to come here, compete, and try to get a medal, and she does. She wins the bronze medal. The silver medal will go to Tanya Ting from Chinese Taipei. Tanya Ting, one of 3 medals on the day for her. Of course, we just saw her on the podium moments ago, accepting her silver medal in the mixed team competition. And earlier in the day, a gold medalist in the women's team competition. So 3 medals, 2 silver, 1 gold. Not a bad haul for the young lady from Chinese Taipei. And atop the podium, Ju Hai-bin from Korea. And there's a good chance that these two 4 years from now will be household names at some point in time. Who knows?
Yep, there's a very, very good chance that pretty much any junior Korean you see is going to be a household name. But the fact that these ones have shown what they can do at a World Cup, being the under-20 team, it just puts a really good big green check mark on their permanent record.
So Ju Hai-bin, the gold medalist, Tanya Ting, the silver, and Kim Chae-young, the bronze. Korea gold and bronze, Chinese Taipei the silver in the women's competition here at stage 1 of the 2016 Hyundai Archery World Cup Tour. Along with Crispin Duenas of Canada, Carl Arky, and we hope you've enjoyed our live shot-by-shot coverage, and now the coverage of the medal presentation.
And congratulations to all these women coming out here and fighting the heat of today. It was very hot, it was very sweaty, very sunny at one point as well, with the sun directly in their eyes, especially this morning. And congratulations to Tanya Ting, coming home with, I think, the most medals out of any archer here. 3, which
Three
is
medals.
which you can win, the maximum you can win. So congratulations to her.
2 team medals, 1 individual medal, that's a silver. So it has been a productive
day at the office.
Yes, productive week for Tanya Ting. As you take a look once again in the Pudong district in Shanghai, where it has cooled off a little bit now, the breeze picking up.
It feels
here at the end of the day.
So good.
Youngsters enjoying the sights, the sounds here in Lujazui. I knew I'd have a little trouble with that. Lujazui Park, Central Green.
And I know a few kilometers away from here is an archery shop with an archery range, so I wouldn't be surprised if
You'll
they
be over there tonight then.
training a little bit.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they get an influx of people coming in and questioning, like, I saw this at the park and I really want to get interested and try it out. And I've been there a couple times, last year and the year before that, and they've got a good operation running there. So hats off to those people who are promoting archery and letting people give it a try just to see what archery is like, and hopefully they get a lot of business from having this event at a park that's just a couple kilometers away from their shop.
It would have been nice to see a Chinese archer here in the medal matches.
It would have been loud.
Yes.
I can say that for sure.
Maybe next year. This is, of course, our 9th year coming to Shanghai since 2005. And it has now become the traditional start of the outdoor season on the World Cup circuit. And a productive week for this gentleman, Wei Cheng-heng from Chinese Taipei. Won a medal in mixed team and collects the bronze medal in the individual matches. Wei Cheng-heng defeating Ernesto Boardman of Mexico 7-3 in their bronze medal match. Zach Garrett, who had such a great week and had it going, especially in that opening set, took the lead 2-0 with 3 straight 10s, only to see Chef Vandenberg come roaring back. Still, the second silver medal of his career to go along with the one he won in Wrocław, Poland last year. And of course the gold medalist from the Netherlands, Chef Vandenberg, who stands atop the podium for the first time in his career. Got to think it's not going to be the last time.
Oh, it definitely isn't the last. And he won a silver medal at the Olympic test event back in September. And this one means a lot to him, too, being able to get into that medal match and prevail. And it looks like he's getting a nice check for 2,000 or 3,000 Swiss francs. Knowing their training regimen, they love eating kebab. That's right by their range. And that's a lot of kebab for him. Congratulations, Chef Vandenberg, Zach Garrett, and Wei Cheng-heng.
The Netherlands, Chinese Taipei, the USA all on the podium. And Chef Vandenberg coming away with a gold medal, accepting a congratulatory handshake from Wei Cheng-heng from Chinese Taipei, and Zach Garrett of the United States with the silver medal. Once again, want to recognize our great sponsors for World Archery, including Hyundai. New thinking, new possibilities. Get yourself a new car. Sport Toto has one goal: let the sport grow. Fila, the official uniform partner of World Archery, and Longines, elegance is an attitude. And we'll have some more presentations coming up momentarily, as the local organizing committee will be recognized. Florian Kalun, Lisa Unruh, two of Germany's finest. We'll see who's headed to, perhaps they'll be headed to Colombia in a week and a half for stage 2. Again, a condensed season because of the Olympics this year. One less stage. And these gentlemen with a long flight back home to South Africa.
Yeah, that's a very long flight.
Long flight back home.
I'm thinking that Germany might not be at Medellin because their European championships are going to be I think very close to, if not coinciding with Medellin. So they have to qualify their Olympic spots too, if any spots are needed to be done. So
Lexi Keller will be in. Oh, no, excuse me.
That's
Lexi Martinez.
Lexi Keller's an
Lexi
archer.
Keller was with us yesterday.
Yeah.
So, trying to keep the Lexis straight. But Lexi Martinez will be in Colombia. Yes.
She's always working hard on that camera.
On that camera, that's right. Making sure we've got all the pictures. Hats off to Hit the Roof Productions. Doing a great job again, once again, here in Shanghai. Would you care to try your hand at some of those gentlemen and ladies' names?
I cannot, because the paper in front of me is written in
Mandarin. Yes,
Mandarin. Yeah.
Yes.
So no, I cannot.
Suffice to say, these are some of the people who are most responsible for putting all of this together here in Shanghai, and we congratulate them and we thank them for all their hard work. Again, this venue, it took 8 days actually to build the venue, and I'm sure it took a lot longer to plan all this out and organize this, the logistics that go into staging an event of this nature. Somebody like Chris Marsh or Juan Carlos Salgado, they might be able to enlighten us as far as that goes, but we walk in and we look around, we go, boy, this is great. It takes a lot of work to pull this off.
There is a lot of work, and having only worked with World Archery and for the past few years, knowing how much setup and takedown there is for the field, that alone is pretty arduous. And we're not even looking at what goes on behind the scenes in terms of, okay, what are we doing on this day? What is the timing of this? How much time do we give for practice? What happens if this happens? Or what do we do if this other thing takes precedence or whatnot? So it's a big operation, and Tom Dielan, who just handed the plaques out, knows exactly what goes on with that. He's a Secretary General. He's pretty much in charge of a lot of the things that go on at the World Archery office in Lausanne when the president is away. And congratulations to World Archery on this, like 10 years at least of doing this World Cup. And congratulations to these local organizers who have put all of this together. And they said local organizers, so everybody who's around here, and making sure that this all happens, especially the wildlife.
The terrapins taking in the action here in Shanghai, where it's all over, it's all in the books. A great day it's been. Just to recap, Chinese Taipei won the women's team gold medal, and it was Korea winning the men's team gold medal. Then this afternoon in mixed team, it was the USA coming away with the gold medal. Katuna Lorig and Brady Ellison. In the women's competition, Ju Haibin wins the women's gold medal, and Chef Vandenberg the men's gold medalist. Well, our thanks to Hyundai, Fila, Sport Toto, Longines, Hoyt, Bose, and Easton Arrows for all the great support of World Cup Archery. Our congratulations to all who medaled and to all who came. And now we pack our bags and head to South America for Stage 2. Medellin, Colombia. We'll be there with our entire crew, and we hope you'll join us for the live shot-by-shot coverage on World Archery TV. For my buddy Crispin Duenas from Canada and the World Archery Federation, I'm Carl Arky saying thanks for your time this time. Till next time, good morning, good afternoon, and good night from Shanghai and Stage 1 of Hyundai's 2016 World Cup Archery Tour. Good night, everybody.
See you next time.
Wow.